we've obviously podcasted a lot, but we never really got into the whole video thing, which everyone does now. Um, I do my radio show, and now every time I record it, people ask me, do I need to do my hair? Do I need to like look good for this? Is this going to be a video component? So it's the expectation now, and we're now behind the times.
Yeah, I guess we had some catching up to do,
We got to learn
which
all
is
kinds of.
embarrassing.
Yeah, you had mentioned right before we started here the Ben Shapiro setup, and I happened to watch
Yes.
about a minute or two of one of his recent ones because our lovely governor Pete Riggett was on the Ben Shapiro show,
Oh, really?
and his visual setup has gone from something kind of like what we have, where it's a webcam of a guy talking into a mic to now it's moving constantly. It looks like the long goodbye. He's got like six cameras just slowly moving across his little dark studio, and it's a very cinematic look. And it looks like someone's putting a little bit too much money into things that nobody really cares. Like who's really caring about the mise en scène of Ben Shapiro's nasally screams? I'm not.
I'm not at all worried about that, Tom. But I would wager that old Ben Shapiro has one of these lighting rigs. Look at this thing.
What are those things that people have like the
Look at that thing.
ring lights now? Have you got one of
Oh
those?
yeah. Yeah, I don't do those because I feel like it has the ring on your glasses, and you just see like this little weird circle.
You need anti-glare glasses. Have you got, where's your glasses guy on this one? He should
My
be
glasses guy.
call him up.
My go-to glasses guy. Yeah, the guy asked about the latest trends, like what's hot now. People
Call,
doing horn rimmed,
call up
people doing
Warby. Call up Warby.
wire rimmed.
And
Warby Parker. Yeah.
yeah.
Listen, Mr. Parker, I got a
Warb,
problem here.
look, Warbs.
Okay, wow, you're on a first name basis, huh? I call it Mr. Parker. It's more formal in my world.
It's more of a power move. I don't actually know him, but look,
Oh
Warb.
yeah, yeah. Talk down to him.
Everyone's got these ring lights. I got glasses. They don't work together. It's 2021.
Yeah.
What's the deal? Then I hang up.
Hey.
I wait for him to call me back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A power move and a strategic hang up.
And I
It's
just
a
hope,
deadly combo.
and I never heard his voice, so I just hope it wasn't the secretary who I was talking to the whole time. And
Or his voicemail.
yeah, you let the cosmic forces take over at a certain point.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be good for him to, maybe work on that because every time I do anything with a ring light, I just have this weird Android sort of light circle where my retina and pupil used to be, and I'm not okay with that,
Do you think
Mr. Parker.
do you think anybody who owns a company that's gotten big and it's named after them, like by the time a normal person has heard of that company, does the guy who it's named after do a single thing for that company anymore? Like Warby Parker probably has not designed a piece of glasses in 30 years, is my assumption.
Yeah, Warby is long removed from the process of just making lenses and glasses. I feel like Warby probably gets like maybe 2 or 3 frames like every quarter. They're like, Mr. Parker, which of these do you like the best? And then he just picks one, and then they're like, this is the Warby pick of the month,
I might
whatever.
just be.
And that's all.
I'm no glasses expert, but I imagine it's kind of boring at a certain point. You're like, yeah, a little more rectangular, a little more circular.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like those boxy ones, those real boxy, square looking ones.
like there's a limit to how many things you can do with frames.
Yeah, of course.
We've probably discovered them all at this point.
I mean, we've already done all the shapes.
Yeah.
There's round glasses, there's square ones. There's sort of like, I don't know what you'd call this, more sort of like rounded rectangles.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot.
That's
There's
what
a
I
lot,
picture
a lot
these.
going on.
I picture these pitch meetings early on. Warby's just like he slams a bunch of designs on the desk in front of all of his people. He's like, "Look, we haven't come up with enough round squares and enough square circles, and come on,
Yeah.
there's got to be something else. Give me a new shape. Make a new shape, guys."
Is it too contrived to ask for a fucking triangle set of glasses from one of you? Come on. He just rips into them. So, Mr. Parker, maybe we don't need to throw some of the work danishes at the new intern. No, this is my company. How we structure. Imagine he's very aggressive, even though his industry is sort of like this very benign, sort of nerdy, if you will, nerd industry.
I'm gonna put a rectangular
really
hole
cool
through your
with
head
glasses.
if you don't come up with a new idea by noon.
I'm gonna punch those frames out the back of your skull, sonny boy.
Then
There's a reason I keep a bat by my desk. Maybe he's sort of like a gruff, kind of like tough love.
I
Kind of
love the.
boss.
I would guess nobody's gone into the glasses business like who's a mafioso type. You know,
No, yeah,
they're usually more like the gentle souls. But
that's true. Yeah.
you know,
There's
like,
actually a funny joke on The Sopranos where one mafia guy and another mafia guy, they're just, they just came from killing somebody, just whacked somebody, and then they're like, "Hey, let's go get a coffee." So
yeah,
as you do after you kill somebody, you just go out for a quick nosh and a coffee. So
I'm
they
just
went out to
picturing it
grab.
like instead of waste management, Tony Soprano opened to Warby Parker's.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Supply and demand. It's what we're in the business for. Just very.
Where are those new hipster ones? Come on.
Yeah. We're the ones with the fucking camo leopard print on the sides. Yeah.
Trying clear ones. Just
Yeah,
like
but
every season, James Gandolfini has a new pair of very fancy frames.
yeah, they sort of look like Bono sunglasses. They're like vaguely tinted pink or something. And it's like, why are they not fully tinted? Oh, well, I like to be able to see, but I don't want the flash of the paparazzi to mess with my ring light retinas.
He's gotten kind of cockney there. He's
Yeah.
Ray Winstone is playing him now, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we got what's his name? Who played Churchill? Gary Oldman. He's doing his old Cockney accent again. Is there anyone who does a worse Cockney accent
Then Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
I'm sure. I'm sure there is. But the difference.
I mean, the obvious.
Is there anybody more acclaimed than Gary Oldman who does a worse Cockney accent? Is how I.
Yeah, Dick Van Dyke.
But like
he did the worst.
Gary Oldman might have the most Oscar nominations for the worst Cockney accent in acting history.
Yeah, honestly, I liked him in the Batman movies a lot better than Churchill and
Mank. God,
I don't know what that says.
I don't even know what accent he was doing in Mank. It's kind of just like that. Somebody wrote a tweet once. I think it was about Brad Pitt and like Troy, and they're saying like, I bet his approach there was, I'm going to do an accent.
And I'm going to do a type of accent.
Yes, I feel like that was the Mank approach. Just sort of like, the consonants will be kind of soft and the vowels will be long, but there's not really a whole lot of consistency, and nobody ever really spoke this way. Kind of.
It'll be sort of vaguely English and Irish and maybe a little bit Australian, somewhat at certain points. Yeah. But it'll be different than how I talk now. That's for sure. That's for damn sure. Oh. Okay, Brad, sounds great. We'll just end this linguistic session today, since you seem to know so much better than the expert.
Oh, speaking of accents, I watched Interview with a Vampire again recently.
Oh man,
and
what a movie!
Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. It's so funny because the movie, it's very watchable, but it's very bad. And the accents that they do are both kind of incomprehensibly, almost like effeminate and kind of European.
Southern.
But like every scene, they're just giving it their all. It is just like 10 out of 10 effort. And I just, the whole time I'm watching, I'm just picturing like, they definitely were thinking this movie's going to be amazing. Like we're working on something special here.
This is going to be magic once it comes out.
Tom Cruise is like adjusting his blonde locks. Oh man, this is going to be the one I'm remembered for.
Oh man, if L. Ron could see me now. You imagine Tom Cruise is just, man, if Mr. L. Ron Hubbard was around, he would be.
Who's the guy who runs it now? Miscavige? David Miscavige?
Yeah, Miscarriage.
I don't think it's Miscarriage.
It might be. Who knows how to say it? I've never heard. I've only seen it written, Tom.
I like to picture that every time Tom Cruise gets a role, he calls up David Miscavige and he's like, Dave, how do I play this? How do I make this honest and authentic to the Thetans inside me?
Dave, how do I inhabit this role in a way where my solar plexus energy won't just be drained from me just immediately, Like I want to approach this with enough solar plexus in my reserves that the Thetans won't just sort of come and dump me in the middle of the night.
And he's sprinting on a treadmill at as fast as he can possibly go as he makes all his calls.
Yeah, he's got one of those like weird masks that like people use when they're like strength training, but he's like somehow hooked it up to a Bluetooth.
David, what do you think about this script?
David, sorry, David, I'm in the middle of a 5K right now. I just ran a 5K earlier this morning, but I'm doing another one. What do you think of this role? I would be playing a vampire in New Orleans.
Blonde hair,
David's like,
long blonde hair, right, David? That's what I'm thinking, David. What do you think? David's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, whatever the fuck works, Tom.
Where's your check this month, Tom? I
Yeah,
didn't get the donation yet.
Tom, the donations this month were a bit light. I'm not. I don't know what your work situation's looking like, or if anything's dried up, or if a Mission Impossible movie were to say come out in a year, maybe the collection box would be a bit heavier. Is all I'm saying.
Cosmic
And then,
forces might imbue your performance with a little bit more success if my bank account goes up a little bit here and in at Scientology
I
Incorporated.
imagine too. It'd be kind of funny if David has Tom like sort of under his thumb in a way where Tom's like under all these sort of misunderstanding, like all these he's under essentially like all these misconceptions. So David's like, and remember, Tom, if you donate more next month, those Thetans will go in and beat up that lawyer that you hate a lot, who's out of East Hollywood. And he's like, really? Okay. All right. So if I donate more, the Thetans will beat him up for me. Yes, that's right, Tom. Yes, he just sort of has all these like, misunderstandings that aren't necessarily about the Scientology faith. But David, he doesn't necessarily dispel them either. He kind of uses them to his advantage.
Well, then it's all so made up. I mean, I'm pretty sure you
Yeah, right.
clearly just make up. Yeah, I just heard from L. Ron's ghost this morning that didn't just fill in the blank and it could be anything, right?
Yeah, I heard that the Queen is going to be dead soon. That's what L. Ron Hubbard's ghost
Speaking of
mentioned.
this was originally why you wanted to do this episode, was to comment on the latest headlines, including the
Yeah,
death of somebody who I really know nothing about. I mean, I've never been into like the mythology of, that we have, like the cultural fascination with the royalty of England. Like I've seen that Henry VIII movie, that old one, and that might be it. Honestly, as far as like I know a little bit about Princess Diana, and I think that's all I know. So I'm going to hand it over to you.
great. Well, that's about the best setup I could have asked for, honestly. I guess I carry the whole thing now. So
Yep, I'm just going to go now. You
yeah,
text me when you're done, and I'll come export files.
signing off. All right, over and out, Tom. I don't happen to know a whole lot about Prince Philip. I did some research in between wanting to do the episode and now. He's an interesting character, gone, taken from this life way too soon,
Yeah.
far too soon, I think is the joke everyone has probably made at this point. I think the media coverage, the way it was sort of like breaking news, people weren't that surprised. So I didn't think that they needed to make such a big deal out of it.
People do though. I mean, every time a 95-year-old dies, not to say. I mean, sure, it's sad.
People are
but, like,
stunned.
yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh my gosh.
yeah, and like this is so like a good example. Jessica Walters died, and
Oh
great
right.
talent,
Yeah.
one of the funniest people, amazing
Great.
actor, seems like a great person, but
Of course.
she was in her 80s.
85.
That's
Yeah.
a fine time to go.
She was in her mid 80s. I'd be happy if I go in my mid 80s.
Yeah. No,
Never mind if I'm 99.
she went out on top. It's not like she's going out with Jeffrey Tambor's reputation or anything. She's probably got the best reputation of anyone on that show, and she died in her 80s, and that's good. That's a happy ending.
A happy ending, and heaven gained a new angel. I think we can both agree. Not in Prince Philip, but in Jessica Walters, at least.
Well, okay. So Prince Philip he's got some dirty I don't know,
Skeletons.
Let's say that. Yeah.
He's got some dirty underwear buried under the floorboards.
It wasn't his.
It wasn't even his. Might have been someone else's.
So tell me a little bit about Prince Philip.
Yeah, so besides looking like sort of the necromancer for the past 30 years, or the crypt keeper, depending on sort of your
Oh my God.
cultural background and historical beliefs.
Why was he not the crypt keeper in a Tales from the Crypt remake, a reboot?
That's what I would have hoped for. That's what I'd like to think Charles would have wanted as well. But the pomp of his title and whatnot never allowed him to flourish as an actor. So
well, it's a real shame. It's a real tragedy.
We'll dream.
His
Yes.
life. He never had the opportunities that he would have hoped for.
Yeah, the sad thing is, Tom, if he was just a regular poor folk like us, he would have had those opportunities. But he had to live a life of struggle as a wealthy beyond wildest dreams um, public figure. So
Yeah, a rich
you
man
can't win
never
them all, Tom. You can't win them all.
a rich man would never have created Tales from the Crypt. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah, I don't think that would have happened. But besides looking like he should have been in that movie or the reboot for probably the past 45 years, the gentleman is kind of a checkered past. The
Now,
most interesting thing about this guy, I would say, is that, and the people who took his death the hardest, coincidentally, was this tribe that he visited in the South Pacific, I guess in like the 60s, right?
okay.
And there's a prediction amongst this tribe. They live sort of like near Polynesia or like Tuvalu. Like this.
How developed is this? Like a tribe, like they live in huts kind of thing?
This is like a Stone Age tribe.
Okay.
And anyways, because they were now under the British Empire, Philip showed up to sort of say like, "Good day, we are here to steal your resources and your women." So anyways, they somehow had some prophecy where a rich white god would appear.
I knew this was where you could tell
Yeah.
going a mile away, but I'm still.
So essentially, they worshipped him for the past 50 years, and now that he's dead, they feel quite a loss. So I don't know. Take that as you will.
Hold on, I want
He
to.
certainly didn't push away any sort of white savior imagery, Tom. I will say that he welcomed it with open arms.
So what the savior myth is that the white god would do what exactly? Do you know much more?
Yeah, so it's not a terribly complex prophecy, as most are sort of half baked,
Yeah.
to sort of leave a little wiggle room for interpretation in the
Right.
future. But anyways, this prophecy said more or less just that a white, like a sheet white man would appear on a boat, which he did, and that he was the god who was sort of like an envoy for a powerful queen who lived across the sea, which all kind of lined up perfectly for him.
Was this myth written by Philip by any chance?
Yeah, it sort of seems like it would be, right? Like he maybe
have,
sort of somehow brainwashed them.
Yeah, did he have someone like drop this off on the island a few years before he made his way over there or something?
Actually, if you've read a little bit about MK Ultra, they seem to have moved the program there, sort of brainwashed the locals into thinking he was a deity. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, the most interesting fact about Philip is that he's a deity in certain parts of the world.
So what did they expect from him? Like, so he goes there, they think he's a deity. Does he have to do anything in particular?
No, that's the best part of the prophecy. He doesn't even have to do anything. He just sort of has to show up. There's no like, there will be great gifts and bounty when he arrives. He'll give everyone a goat. None of this. It's all just, he will show up and he'll exist.
That's a very low bar for a savior, I gotta say.
So it does kind of lend some credence to your theory that maybe Philip sort of made or, loosely interpreted something to his benefit.
Yeah, even I think Kurtz did a little bit more for the Vietnamese people than Philip was doing.
Yeah,
there's no prophecy.
Let's not even get started on Leopold II of Belgium.
Well, so didn't Philip have some Epstein connections too? Wasn't he a creep in that sense?
I think that was Prince Andrew, another of the royal.
I get them confused.
They're all the same, really.
Okay, so
they're all sort of useless, and they would have no real career in a regular.
So many of them.
World.
So Philip is the crypt keeper. What does Andrew look like? Give me some helpful ways to memorize these guys here.
Okay, so the recently deceased crypt keeper. Then you have the next king in line. Assuming, God forbid, the queen dies way before her time, 3 years from now. When she's 100.
Yeah, it'll be a real tragedy if that happens, and
we'll all be shocked. We'll be stunned. We'll all be stunned. I'll tell you right now. I'll be the first one to probably just stand up and scream at the top of my head when the queen dies. I'll just in a public place,
Yeah.
in a private place. It doesn't matter. It's a matter of respect. So
I'll
I'll
just
stand
deny
up and
it because I don't
scream
believe
at the
it.
top of
I
my
don't
lungs.
believe it's happening in my lifetime, frankly.
No, I mean it shouldn't really. That all most of the experts say it's not going to happen. Philip was long overdue, but the Queen has the immortal powers to rule from God.
I can only
So
picture Philip as being so in love with the Crypt Keeper that he's like doing those stupid little puns that the Crypt Keeper would do. So he's like,
yeah.
"God save the scream," just
Oh
like
gosh. Yeah.
stupid, like all the time. They're like, "Philip, come on, please." He's like,
Yeah.
doing the voice. Try like, should I grow my hair out to be more like the Crypt Keeper? His thin, long locks.
thin, thin, long Gollum hair from
Yeah.
like Lord of the Rings, like Smeagol hair, just sort of.
I'm thinking of growing my hair out for Halloween this year to play the Crypt Keeper.
It'd be interesting if I went back to that island where they worship me, Elizabeth, and I have dreadlocks. Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Andrew's next in line for the throne,
Yeah.
and he's the
And,
Epstein one.
no, no, no. Sorry. Andrew is another guy, and don't even ask me how I know this. It's been forced onto my
Yeah. Wow. You
my.
know a lot more than I do.
It's been sort of ard into my memory, if you will, by the media.
So
I don't know if we can say that.
which one's the Epstein one?
Is Andrew, and then I guess sorry, I was mistaken.
Oh,
Prince
okay.
Charles will take over next, and he sort of looks like the Crypt Keeper's like goofy English uncle. He's sort
He's
of
the Scrappy Doo of Tales from
yes, Scrappy Doo. He sort of looks very much at home with a little teacup and a saucer.
Yeah.
An umbrella tucked under his arm.
Okay.
Maybe a little too British for his own good. Like if he lasts 50 years, the country might be in trouble.
That's the goal, though. I mean, they've been working toward that for centuries.
I know,
That's
and
the royal
also
bloodline right there.
it's ridiculous to think about when the 100-year-old queen dies, the 75-year-old queen's son shall take over. It's like the royals didn't anticipate living this long. So sort of like old age and the fact that we now have like an extended life expectancy, it's sort of messed with their plans.
Well, and it's all
So it
just for
seems like
show, right? Like they don't do a single
yeah,
thing. They have no power really.
they don't do anything. They sort of actually just suck up resources, if I'm being honest.
It's like it's one of those things that as a kid you kind of just accept. Like, oh, I guess there's a Queen of England. And the older I get, the more I'm just sort of like, wait, what? How is this even still a thing?
Yeah, to me, it's confusing how it's still around, but also not functional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, we'll keep the king and queen. We're not going to just sort of kill them like they did in France, but we want a totally different government.
Yeah, it's like
But we want to keep them.
it's like if we switched over to only having the House of Representatives and the Senate, but we kept electing presidents, even though the president
Yeah.
actually had no power and couldn't do anything, and it was literally just to have more presidents.
That would be great. I would love that. We could just have a full-on oligarchy
I mean,
instead of
we do.
instead of whatever we have now, which is pretty much that already. I
Yeah.
guess.
So okay, so was there any other stuff that you came across about this tragic death of a man taken
Yeah.
before his time that you wanted to get across today?
Yeah, so another sort of interesting tidbit that might lend a little credence to some of the conspiracy theorists that we have here on the show. And I'm talking amongst our many fans, I know we have at least 2 or 3 conspiracy nuts out there. So put on your hat and listen up.
Yeah. You
So
should to make it like Ben Shapiro is you should have slowly.
we should
moving-
segment it. Yeah.
This is what it's like watching his show.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He's talking into the mic, screaming about whatever cultural grievance he has, and there's 4 cameras doing this all around him. It's just
Yeah, constantly.
so at some point he had to make that
Dizzying.
decision. He was like, "Look, what if we just have a bunch of cameras slowly moving back and forth that we can cut back, from, so we have some visual momentum. It's not enough just to have me talk into the camera."
What if we just have cameras panning around constantly, like just panning? Then I imagine he loves the word pan and it's sort of annoying voice. What if we get that one to pan over here? Ben, do we need so many pan shots? Can we just get a
You're right.
like
You know
a
what? You're
head-on?
right. We need some
You're
pans
right,
and some cranes, and we need some drones.
We need a dolly or two.
I want it to be just like slowly. It's just going to be so much movement. It's going to make you sick to watch it. Just because
Yeah, it's sort of like being on a ship.
45 cameras moving at different speeds, back, forth, sideways, up and down.
The frames per second rate have been altered in certain sequences.
Yeah,
it's like wow, this seems really sped up. I don't know how they did that.
Danny Boyle directed this episode, so sometimes it's really fast, and like right in his face. Oh
yeah.
my God.
He must have the same set designer as Alex Jones, because I guess Alex Jones has some sort of like ESPN set at this point.
I mean, it tells you who they think they are, like, in their head, how they picture themselves, what visual style they choose to emulate. I love Ben Shapiro's like, I'm basically the ESPN of the right.
But also he adds little nods to his intellectualism, sort of by like putting a book in the background. Whereas Alex Jones, there's no books.
No.
A lot of papers, no books.
Alex Jones should just have like some weights behind him.
Yeah, some weights. like a cluster of bananas and then just some sort of like rudimentary workout machines, like some water, some like what do they call those? Indian clubs. Yes. I don't even know if that's an acceptable term anymore.
A keg of his home brew.
Yeah, like a giant tractor tire that he flips over.
Oh my God.
Those would be the images. And
why is he not like doing moonshine? Doesn't that seem up his alley?
Totally.
Like, he's not using this government approved corn. He's making his own. He's got his own field.
I created my own GMOs. They're beautiful. Let me tell you, they'll outgrow Monsanto past the nuclear apocalypse.
I don't use any of the pesticides. I don't have any crop this year because of the pests.
Yeah, because unfortunately there was some horned weasel fleas that got in and ate up all the corn. So no corn this year, folks. But next year it's looking good. We got a shaman out to bless the fields, and
we're watering.
I got a Catholic.
Only holy on this field. I don't use any preservatives. It did all go bad this year, but we're hoping for the best next year.
The thing is, that corn dies and creates even better fertilized soil for the crop next year. So we're looking ahead. We're happier for future times. We're not going to look back at all.
He just like keeps trying to do these organic businesses, but doesn't actually like put that much time into any of them. So it's just every year, like next year, we're planning to roll out all this, all our inventory. This year didn't come out the way we hoped it would, but we're working our tails off here, folks.
I like to imagine too, he knows like almost nothing about organic farming. So he just thinks organic farming is like sticking the seeds in the ground, just leaving them and then coming back later, sort of natural farming. So he doesn't know anything about like, oh, I guess I could use neem oil to get rid of the skeeter flies or whatever the heck.
Yeah. God, just picture him like I picture him like he buries like 3 seeds, is profusely slapping the off himself. But that camera
he's got like a hand trowel, not even like a big shovel, just a hand trowel, and he's like, whoa. Don't profusely sweating.
Don't film this, please.
Stop
filming this.
Yeah. Turn off the cameras. I need to go shower. Feel filthy. Like Alex, you've only made maybe about 4 hand motions with that trowel. Yeah, but it's hot out here. It's Austin sun and Texas. I got hot.
I want footage of that, and then my other thing I want footage of is, do you ever watch that there was the terrible Ricky Gervais show, Life's Too Short?
Oh yeah.
Do you know how like?
Well, no, that wasn't even the worst one.
Well, that was probably the one that's aged the worst, because I guarantee you they would not have made that show today, because 90% of the jokes are just Warwick Davis is short, and so
it's not.
Every time he got in his car in that show, they'd make a huge joke about how he couldn't get up into it because he drove this huge pickup truck, and I basically want that, because I think that is literally what happens with Ben Shapiro every day. And so I do want footage of him trying to get up into his big car, or trying to like get onto a horse without a saddle because he thinks he's all tough, and just really having a hard time with it.
Yeah, I would pay a sweet fortune to be able to see Ben Shapiro just sort of like jumping on a horse, sort of thinking like, I got a hat. I'm a cowboy.
This is my horse, William F. Buckley. Buckley, come here.
Buckley, and then he sort of just gets like launched from the back of the horse.
Buckley, stop moving. I'm trying to get on you. Come on, Buckley, stop.
Buckley, work with me here.
Buckley, it's all about compromise, okay? The left never knows how to do this. He's just sort of lecturing to his horse. He's
Yeah,
like, Buckley, listen, you need to become tamed quickly because I don't have a lot of patience for this. And as you know, people on the left are
yeah,
constantly talking
yeah,
about how horses on their side are not able to get trained in adequate amount of time. We
yeah.
need to show them that conservative horses know better.
At a certain point, he has to just like turn to the camera and start talking and like doing his show to the camera because he's clearly not going
Yeah.
to make it up onto that horse.
And then but the horses in the background sort of like just sitting there. And then at the end of the show, one of the producers like, so Ben, are you gonna
Ben, let me come help you. Don't help
Ben,
me. Do not help me. Don't touch me.
do not.
Come on, I'll just.
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I'm a person on the left. I need a handout. You need to help me? No. Okay, I can do this myself.
Everything is about the left with that guy. Even with he must just go through his Lucky Charms in the morning. It's like,
Wow, classic Shamrock, leftist ideology, ideological. What would he call it? Forced exposure. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
As he's dyeing his eyebrows every morning, eating his Lucky
Yeah.
Charms.
As he enjoys all the benefits of living in a free and liberal globalistic society, but at the same time rails against the evils.
All right, so I think I took you on a crazy long tangent here. You were saying something about Prince Philip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How do we get from the royal family to Ben Shapiro? Maybe there's more of a connection there than we thought.
Yeah, you had some story you were starting, and somehow I got us way off track. Did I just derail the whole thing? It's gone.
Yeah,
now.
I don't remember which story. I told you about the native worship of Philip, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I got something. I got a question for you. And
Sure.
I messaged this to you on Facebook, but should I be buying Dogecoin? And what is Dogecoin exactly? And I have a movie news story that kind of ties into this. But if you could give me a primer, like I'm really dumb because I don't really get it.
No, this was great, Tom. We'll do financial news with Will, and then we'll do movie news with Tom, and then we'll two sides of the same coin, really.
We had 40 minutes of obituaries, and
yeah, we're out of the news. Thank goodness we covered that 2-week-old story for about 45 minutes because no one else was going to do it. All right, well, on to the good stuff. So, in financial news, there's been quite a development recently with the meme currency, Dogecoin. So I don't know if you're familiar with a meme currency. It's the same as a cryptocurrency, but it's just...
I struggle to quite understand what exactly cryptocurrency is. I get that it's a thing you buy on the internet that sort of like tells you own it, but there's no tangible version of the money, right? It's just purely online.
It's mostly online. You can buy or you can get like actual Doge coins. Basically just has a picture of like a dog on it, right? So it's like dog coin.
I think
somebody made this.
I didn't take it seriously because it's got the Doge on it. So it seemed like this can't be a real thing that can change anybody's life in any real way. But apparently I was way off on that assumption.
Yeah, no, I was too. I was definitely too. The thing is, this is pretty much mirroring a lot of the Bitcoin type of stuff that happened a couple of years ago. Nobody thought Dogecoin would do this because Dogecoin is, again, a meme currency, which it was basically created in the first place as a joke. So the fact that it's even worth anything now and has made several people millionaires is kind of funny and speaks to how ridiculous financial industry is.
How does it go from a joke to something where now like people are millionaires? What exactly is it that makes the value go up that much?
So it's like a combination of things. I was lucky enough to have a roommate who bought in a couple months ago. So he's made like a good chunk of money on the side. So that's how I know some of this. But that's in addition to my degree in finance from
cryptocurrency
from Harvard.
Yeah.
Harvard University.
You're
the Harvard of Norway, Harvard.
So. Meme scholar.
Yeah. So anyways, in addition to all that finance knowledge floating around in my head, there's definitely some benefits to investing in Dogecoin. It is a currency you can have tangible amounts of, and more places are like you can actually buy the coins if you want to. So you can get something physical for that online sort of like
untouchable wallet that you're going to have. But the good thing is that it's becoming more like real money in that people are actually accepting Dogecoin.
So like when
So
you
if
go
you want to
down
get
to
into,
the bodega and you want to get some pineapples.
well, not the bodega. Bodega will probably be the last place to accept Dogecoin. But
Okay. Where do you
like,
where do you have to go? You go to
so I think some companies are starting to accept Dogecoin. I know, for example, like the best example I know of right offhand is there's like a club here in Florida that you can pay to enter with Dogecoin. So you have like your little wallet and you transfer the money just like you would do with like Venmo or PayPal or another app, and you send them that money and they let you right in. So it's like
okay.
starting to become more like actual tangible money in that you get stuff for it. It's not just like something that exists that you have to convert into cash to then use for stuff.
So if I want to get into this, how do I even do that? Because I was trying to Google this yesterday and I got stuck pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, what my personal financier has told me in so many words, you have to kind of have a brokerage account. It's preferred so that you can kind of have like ease of access to sell off, and you're not sort of like hampered by like a bunch of additional rules. So like you can't sell today, you have to sell 2 days from now. You know, like weird rules like that.
Okay.
So if you just get an app like Robinhood, you can buy Dogecoin. It works. It's kind of a weird. It's cryptocurrency is really weird, and I'm sure there are people who know a lot more about it than I do.
I don't. I doubt that very much.
There's probably one of them out there that knows something about it. Maybe a miner of coins who's been in the pits for a long time. He might know a thing.
So, but you're sitting here
but
just like watching your roommate with
get
growing
rich. Yeah,
jealousy, and it's
with
probably
frustration.
yeah, some tensions are coming out.
Yeah, you know, some projectiles have been launched across the room. Some
Well, and he just taunts you
neighbors
more
have
because he's like,
complained.
"Oh, I can pay for 15 more of those this morning." So I'm glad you broke that. Actually, I was gonna upgrade anyway.
I was gonna buy a dozen on them on Amazon, even though they sell them in a 12 pack for no reason. Other
Will,
than
let
to
me just get in my
justify
Porsche and go buy 15 more of those.
them. Let me just hop on my private jet and fly over to Italy and go pick a few up. That's where I got them in the first place. Maybe I'll stop by San Giovanni for a nice crisp Chianti on my way back. Yeah, it's a lot of that, you know.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, are you getting into it then?
Not right now because at the moment it's just been like climbing. So
Isn't that a reason
as
to get in because it'll increase in value from here?
well, that's the thing too. So this cryptocurrency is also a lot like stocks in that it, you know, kind of fluctuates a lot.
Yeah.
So if you just have regular money, you know what it's worth, and inflation usually takes so long that by the time your milk is 3.50 instead of $3, you know, you forgot all about it, right? But with cryptocurrency, it fluctuates a lot. So the price of one Dogecoin, for example, could be 50 cents, or the price could be like 30 cents, and that's in the same day. So let's say you buy a bunch of the coins at 50 cents and then it goes down to 30 cents. You know, you've lost a bunch of money
Yeah, but you
just
just
by
wait until
doing
it's
that.
until you're a billionaire the next month, right?
That's true. Yeah, yeah. You
Like
could
your
just
roommate.
wait. Like my son of a gun, so happy for him I could just beat him in the face. Roommate, yes.
So,
No,
I mean, have you made your roommate take you out to dinner in celebration?
no, but I've definitely offered him to do that before. And he doesn't seem on board. But yeah, no, it's I think he made like something like $1,700, so it's not enough for
Oh,
him to
okay.
retire forever, but
Not yet.
for like a month of just sort of tinkering around on an app, that seems like a decent chunk of money.
I think we should get into it, and
We should, yeah.
you know, it sounds like it might be more lucrative than movies.
Yeah.
You get into it at the right time.
It'd certainly be more fulfilling, that's for sure. I would feel a lot more artistically fulfilled.
Well, my movie segue here is, and this is partially why I wanted to understand because it's scary to me. This is about Kevin Smith, And I don't love when Kevin Smith seems to be understanding the things in the world more than I do, because he doesn't seem like the brightest bulb in the bulb sack. So let me
Yeah,
read
so when he gets it, it makes you.
yeah, I'm like, well, it's time for me to buckle down and learn, I guess, if Kevin Smith is into this already.
Damn it, I got to go to the Wikipedia page now.
So I'm on. This is I'm going to read an article from Deadline to you, which is Kevin
Okay.
Smith is looking to push the boundaries on indie distribution again. This time, he's auctioning off his latest horror feature anthology. Kilroy was here as an NFT, which it says here NFT is a non-fungible token, which I guess is like the unit of a Dogecoin or any kind of cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah, so this is like another weird thing, this non-fungible token thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of related to cryptocurrency in that it's verifiable. So, you know, the benefit with Bitcoin and Dogecoin is that all of your transactions and everything else is sort of verified, you know, through the blockchain, which I don't understand that well either. But basically, there's a system of verification, right? So no one's going to cheat anyone else because it's not just me and you making a transaction. It's me and you, and then there's like 10 other people who confirm the transaction with their computers sort of like just working in the background, right?
This is where I start to get lost because this is very complicated and it's
Yeah.
difficult to follow at a certain point.
Yeah, I guess the best way to think of it is like a thumbprint, right? You have a unique identifier for
Yeah.
your specific transaction, right?
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to go up and sort of look up our transaction, they use that thumbprint, you know, that unique identifier.
Okay.
So they use that with cryptocurrency just to make sure that transactions go through, everything's good to go. But the non-fungible token is a little bit different because of the fact that you apply it to things that are just different than money, not just money. So you apply it to art, for example. I think
This
one
is
of
where
the
I'm
dumbest,
focused, I think.
one of the dumbest and best things up for auction right now is somebody who recorded every single one of his farts for like a year, and then he sort of put a mega mash together, and then he got some sort of thumbprint unique identifier on this hour-long list of fart playlists.
This isn't one of those things like my friend did this stupid thing.
Yeah.
Or it was my friend thought this would be funny. Like this isn't you, is it? Is this because
No, this isn't me. Yeah.
look, Will, I'm not going to put this on the YouTube channel, no matter how successful you tell me it is.
You know, Tom, I've been recording every single one of these for a fucking year now. And I would have hoped you would have been more receptive. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's I think it's the guy, basically, he's a millionaire now. So we're the ones laughing, but he's the one who's having the last
It's
laugh.
your roommate in the next room.
Yeah. He's buying Dogecoin and recording his farts. Guy's a genius.
I hear him continuing his legacy. He's added another one to the oeuvre just now. I heard it through the wall.
Yeah. Another of his progeny has slipped the bounds of mortal, shuffled off his mortal coil. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so you can use this thumbprint to verify your work of art in the same way that you know, rich people like to say, oh, this is 100% of Vermeer and not an imitation on my wall. That's why I paid $10 million for it instead of $1,000. So it's like that way to verify it. So even though it's somebody's fart compilation, it's useless to me and you.
Well,
and to the person who did the farts, it's really frankly useless to everybody.
I'll say I think
it's
you know, this is a good equivalent because a Kevin Smith horror anthology might have a similar entertainment value to an hour's worth of a fart anthology, more or less.
They should be auctioned off as a package.
Well, so here's what he's up to. The owner of the NFT will secure the rights to the exhibit, distribute, and stream the work, making it a means for whoever owns the movie to basically distribute it themselves.
Interesting.
Blockchain outside of the blockchain, he says. So, as an indie artist, I'm always looking for a new platform through which to tell a story, said Smith. And I'm going to go ahead and say, Kevin Smith never said through which to tell a story. You know, that's
through which, yeah.
I'm going to say a publicist wrote that.
Yeah.
So he says, and crypto has the potential to provide that, while also intersecting with our almost 25 years of experience selling real-world collectibles online. And so he says, back in 1994, we took Clerks up to Sundance and sold it. Selling Kilroy as an NFT feels very similar. Whoever buys it could choose to monetize it traditionally or simply own a film that nobody ever sees but them. So this is his new thing, and he started a crypto studio where I guess he's just going to sell his movies now like pieces of art to rich fans.
Who then get to stream them if they want to make money,
Yeah, I guess.
or keep them and hoard these movies to themselves forever.
If I say I was meeting up with you and you're like, oh man, guess what? Through cryptocurrency, I'm now the only owner of Jay and Silent Bob, 7. You want to come over and watch it because only me and 6 other people have ever seen it. I might be like, yeah I don't know. Like, I think I got plans. Want to just go out and get a drink somewhere instead? I think I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there like a Rotten Tomatoes? There's no IMDb score, so how do I know if it's good?
Like
Nobody's seen it.
When I was 15, I liked the Kevin Smith movies, but I'm not 15 anymore.
I'm not 15, and apparently you're an art collector now.
I can see someone like David Lynch or like one of those really artsy guys who has a huge following maybe making this work.
It doesn't work when you have like 20,000 fans across the world.
Kevin Smith makes like the potato chips of art. Like they're okay, they're fine. But it's not anything that I feel like I would not be all that proud to be the exclusive owner of a Kevin Smith horror anthology.
Yeah, now if it was a Martin Scorsese, then now we're talking. But it's a Silent J and Bob movie.
I'd be really worried if I'm Kevin Smith that someone's like I don't know exactly how it's going to work in terms of money because I guess it's kind of an auction, right? So someone's like, yeah, I'll give you I'll give you like $75 of Dogecoin for that movie. It's like, well, I kind of thought we'd get like 3 million. You're like, don't you understand? You'll be the only person who has it. It's exclusive access. You're like, okay, yeah, no, you're right. How about 85?
What I'd love to see is somebody sort of barter.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I like your film there. I'll trade you this fart compilation for the film. They're both worth the same amount of money, dude. I think Kevin Smith's like, oh, how dare you? It's not art. The guy's like, well, you're being auctioned off at the same auction, so I don't know what you'd want me to do.
That's hilarious. All right, I think that's a good note for us to end on. Was there anything else you wanted to throw in here before we wrap up?
No, just that the Queen should watch her back.
Oh boy, we're gonna get taken off YouTube now. You just killed the show.
No, I don't mean for me, Tom. Good Lord, I mean from viruses and diseases. I mean, the Queen. The thing is, after your mourning, you're not in good health and you're sick and you sort of lose sleep, and I want what's best for Elizabeth. I want her to live to be another 25 years older.
I want her to live to be 200. I think let's just keep her.
I think that'd be cool, honestly, Tom. Let's just make her the oldest woman alive and just keep her alive, sort of fossilized.
If anyone deserves it, it's royalty to live longest, definitely.
Actually, this sort of reminds me of this is like a little bit morbid, but apparently the body of Lenin, Vladimir Lenin, Lenin, still exists. Not John, John. Yeah, well, yeah, John doesn't exist anymore either. But the body of Lenin is still around, and they basically like embalm it every year.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Just for fun.
They put it on display, I guess. Yeah. Kind of weird. I imagine they do that. They should do that with the Queen, sort of just like keep her body perpetually refreshed. Maybe with Philip too. We could just have his body sort of like around for 500-600 years, and I don't know, maybe like a glass coffin. Everyone, when you go to London, you go see Big Ben, you go to Canterbury Cathedral. Or whatever, Westminster Abbey, and
go kiss the Barley Stone or whatever, the Blarney Stone in Ireland, and then come over and kiss the Queen's cold lips.
Right on the lips, Tom. Wow, a little presumptuous. I would expect a Queen sort of like a hand kiss before, but I don't know. Maybe
sure. I don't know. I don't know your strategy. Some people are more they're more forthright, more bold than others.
Yeah, but a queen kissing on the lips, first date. I don't know, Tom. Anyways, all the best to the queen in this rough time.
Good note to end on here. We've really, I think we're getting a lot of new fans with this one.
Yeah, I can't see any of this backfiring in any way.
I
And
think
when
we
I do
should,
run for office, you know, at our local school board, I'm sure this will probably come up.
I think we should keep the obituary segment at the beginning of the show going forward.
Yeah, nothing brings up a show like an obituary segment. This is gonna do wonders for our fan base. So enjoy it, folks.
Yeah, enjoy it.
All enjoy it.
Yeah.